So I'm a bit OCD when it comes to wood. If I find a beautiful piece, whether I've gone to the dump, whether I'm driving and I see something on the side of the road, I can't help myself. I have to stop and pick it up and bring it home. So much so that there's kind of like a mounting pile of wood that I need to use. But this beautiful piece really spoke to me. It was found at a dump and it was cut perfectly. And this has to get put to good use. So if you guys can't get hold of a piece like this, then make your way along the road, find the guys that sell pieces of wood on the side of the road or offer a chainsaw service, and go and ask them to cut you a slither and put it to good use. Because once you have sanded this down, sealed it, and felt this beautiful texture, you'll want to make more. And of course, I'm using these handy hairpin legs, which are just going to do the job and make it so simple that I might have to make another one. But let's get to it and let's start working on this beautiful piece of live edge wood. Some of you are going to get a piece of wood that might still be quite wet, and you'll simply see that by the color and by the weight. If that is the case, then bring it back and put 2 pieces of plank underneath it that are level, and then rest it on top of that. It's important that it dries out completely before you start fiddling with it and attempting to seal it at all. And depending on the smoothness and how you receive it, you might then want to start with a 80 grit, progress to 100 grit sandpaper, and then to 120 to get this very, very fine baby skin finish. I've also chosen to leave the edges where the bark was, and you can see it's just peeled off and broken off in time. And I don't want to sand that. I want this to have this rustic, retro kind of feel where I've almost got part of the tree still looking at me and I can be witness to it. Right folks, after the sanding, a little bit of mineral turpentine on a dry cloth and give it a wipe, and what that simply does is just takes off all that dust and all the other bits. Now that it's lovely and smooth, we're going to be applying our first coat of our sealant. And what we're using is a polywax sealer. Now, this polywax sealer penetrates the wood. It's heat resistant, it's scratch resistant, and in extremes of temperature. So really tough and durable for this beautiful piece of wood. Give it a real good stir. All right, and then paintbrush, and on it goes, folks. Try and work with the grain. Watch out for runny bits on the edge. And remember, this is just going to be our first coat, because in order for this product to really do its thing and for the polywax to penetrate into the wood, which is going to be protecting it, making it last longer, we need to do the 3 coats. Remember, folks, this is an interior polywax sealer, which is specifically aimed for interior projects and products. Right, this is dried off really nicely. Now some fine steel wool, and all I want you to do is go over it and just buff it. Depending on how smooth and sleek you're wanting your finish, that is really going to be dependent on how much elbow grease you put in with this guy. But once you do it, you will soon see how it's going to start lifting, getting rid of any bits that might be sticking out and scuffs. And once we've done this, on goes the mineral turpentine again, give it a clean, and then your next coat of polywax sealer. So exactly the same process as I've just done. Right folks, 3 coats have gone on. I am super chuffed, and I'm still getting that feel that this is rustic, and it really still is a beautiful piece of wood. So now it gets time to put on the hairpin legs. Guys, these you order online. You can change the height of them, and the best part about them is that they've got these little adjustable guys at the bottom of the leg. So even if your piece of wood is not perfectly level, and I know you guys were watching this and saying, oh, this isn't going to work because that piece of wood is thin on one side and thick on the other. That's why we've got these adjustable little gadgets. So how do we work it out? We're basically wanting a triangle. We want to pop these guys in here. And guys, you want the apex of the triangle on your narrowest side. So ideally, what we want to do is get them as equal from the sides as possible, but that is not kind of set in stone. It just depends on how you feel about it. I'm going with them facing like that, forming basically the end of the triangle there, a diamond there, and so that I know that that is going to go across like that. There we go. And this guy is going to sit about there. And that, I think, should do it. Once we're happy with that, what I do want to do is just do a double check, and I'll pop this guy on here, because now we can see, have a look at here at the spirit level, now we can see how much we're going to have to adjust this little foot over here, and I know that I've got enough space to work with there. So guys, it's pretty simple. Use your practical knowledge, and you can get it in there and get your legs set perfectly. And all I've got to do now is use some wood screws and tap them in here to the spaces provided. All right, folks, that was so simple. Legs are on, nicely screwed in, tough as nails. All I need now is a beautiful spot to put this, and my job is done.